So for today, ang ating discussion, integral calculus. Okay? So I have been given 1.5 hours. So 1.5 hours. Kalahati siya nung dating naging oras sa calculus. For the outline for our discussion for integral calculus, first we will be dealing with integration concepts first and formulas for indefinite integrals and definite integrals. And then next, we have the integration techniques. So we have integration by substitution, by parts, and using Wallis formula. And then next, we proceed to the applications of the definite integral. Geometric applications, we have the area between two curves and the solids of revolution. And then next, last part will be the multiple integrals. So we have the double and triple integrals. First, we have the integration concepts. So first, what is integral calculus? So integral calculus is a branch of mathematics that deals with the function to be integrated. So integration, yan yung reverse process ng differentiation. So kanina, differentiation tayo, and then ngayon integration, ang integration ay reverse process ng differentiation. Kabaliktaran lang siya. So dito, the function to be integrated is referred to as the integrand, while the result of an integration is called integral. And then we have indefinite integral. It is a function that practices the antiderivative of another function. It can be visually represented as an integral symbol, and then a function, and then a dx at the end. It is also called antiderivative or primitive integral. So we have in here the basic integration formulas. We have for algebraic, exponential, and logarithmic functions. So we have first is the integral of du. Okay, so pag integral ng du, maka-cancel natin yung integral symbol. Okay, ito yung integral symbol natin ha. Okay, and then yung d, maka-cancel lang yan. So we are left with u plus c. And then, if we have a constant, integral of a, that is a constant, that the integral of that is a, and then integral of du, so the integral of that is a times u plus c. And then we have the formula for u raised to n du. So we have u raised to n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. Take note, yung n natin dito dapat not equal to negative 1. Okay? Kasi kung magiging equal to negative 1, we will use this formula. Okay, yung du over u. And then we have a raised to u du. The integral of that is a raised to u over ln of a plus c. So yung a natin dito naman ay constant yan. And then if we have e raised to u du, so yung e natin is also a constant. Okay, exponential yan. So we have e raised to u plus c. And then ito, we have the integral of du over u, that is ln of u plus c. So ito yung basic natin for algebraic, exponential, and logarithmic functions. We also have trigonometric functions. So sa trigonometric functions, o kabaliktaran lang, di ba? Kung differential, di ba? Ang derivative ng cosine u, di ba, is negative sine u. Okay? And then yung derivative ng sine u is cosine u. So since reverse process, yung integration ng differentiation, o baliktarin lang natin. Yung sagot sa differentiation, yun na yung tanong. Okay? So baliktarin na natin siya. So therefore, okay, the integral of sine u du is negative cosine u plus c. And then the integral of cosine u du is equal to sine u plus c. Okay? And then ito, secant squared u du, cosecant squared u du, okay, yung mga integral niyan, and then the secant u tan u du, and then secant u cotangent u du, o galing din yan sa differential formulas natin, di ba? And then yung kasunod na apat, okay, you can derive this by using trigonometric identities. So makukuha natin tong mga answer natin nandito, yung ating mga formula na nandito. Okay? So ang gagawin natin pala sa discussion ngayon, ano yung muna lahat ng formula ha? lahat ng formula muna i-show ko and then we solve later. Okay? Tapos masamay natin mamaya. And then, inverse naman tayo. So, inverse trigonometric functions. Okay, so we have 5 formulas in here. Okay. So, the integral of du over square root of a squared minus u squared, that is arc sine of u over a plus c. So, dito sa mga formulas natin, yung a is constant yan. Okay. And then, integral of du over a squared plus u squared, that is 1 over a. Then, arctangent of u over a plus c. And then, the integral of du over u times the square root of u squared minus a squared, that is 1 over a, arcsecant of u over a plus c. And then we have the formula for arcsine of u du and arctangent of u du. And then we have 4 hyperbolic functions. O, ganun din siya. So this is from your differentiation din na formulas. So binaliktad lang natin, no? So we have for the integral for hyperbolic sine of u, integral of hyperbolic cosine of u, and so on. Okay? So ito yung mga formulas natin. And then we have the properties of the indefinite integral. So meron kasi itong mga properties na makakatulong sa atin to solve integrals more easily. Okay? So suppose that f of x and g of x are antiderivatives of f of x and g of x respectively. And c is a constant. Okay? So yung f of x, okay, yan yung integral ng f of x. Same with g of x. Okay? So we have the first property, a constant factor can be moved through this is integral sign. Okay? So we have, for example, okay, we have the integral of c times f of x dx. Okay? We can move this constant c outside of the integral. So we now have c times the integral of f of x dx, which is c times f of x plus c. And then the next is an antiderivative of a sum or difference is equal to the sum or difference of the antiderivatives. So if we have the integral of f of x plus or minus g of x dx, okay, so that is, okay, f of x plus or minus g of x plus c. Okay? So yung f of x, yung malalaking letra natin na f and g, yan na yung integral ng maliliit na f and g. Okay? And then we have the definite integral. So sa definite integral, if f of x, yung malaking f, is the integral of f of x dx, f is the smaller, no? That is, f prime of x is f of x dx, and if a and b are constants, then the definite integral is, okay, so we have this one, the integral of f of x dx with your limits from a to b. Okay? So yung a natin, yung lower limit, yung b natin, yung upper limit. So we have f of x, and then we have the limits a to b. So paano ma-evaluate itong definite integral? Okay? So we just substitute, okay, f of x, di ba? So for the first, okay, so we have the f of b minus yung sa lower limit, f of a. We have the upper limit minus the lower limit na functions natin. So to obtain the definite integral of a function, we evaluate first the indefinite integral. Okay? Unahin natin yung indefinite integral muna. And then we apply the limits of integration. O, paano yon? So that is, substitute the upper limit of integration to all the variables contained in the indefinite integral minus the function value of the indefinite integral using the lower limit of integration. So ito ay upper limit minus the lower limit na function. We have integration techniques. Okay. So we have first the integration by substitution. So we have a technique called substitution that can often be used to transform complicated integration problems into simpler ones. The method of substitution can be motivated by examining the chain rule from the viewpoint of anti-differentiation. So yung concept ng integration by substitution, nanggaling yan sa chain rule. So for the purpose, suppose that F, okay, capital F, is an antiderivative of small f and g. That is a differentiable function. And then, the chain rule implies that the derivative of f of g of x can be expressed as, okay, so ito yon, di ba, chain rule. So we have the derivative of f of g of x, okay, with respect to x. That is f prime of g of x times the integral, times g prime of x. Okay, so this is the first derivative of g of x. Okay, so in integral form, this is the integral of f prime of g of x times g prime of x dx. So we have f of gx plus c. And then, since f is an antiderivative of f, okay, we have this one. So we have f of g of x plus c. For our purposes, it will be useful to let u, okay, we will let u as the g of x. So we have g of x, and then the du is g prime of x dx. So therefore, or thus, we have this. The f of u, okay, u is g of x times du, so that is g prime of x dx. So we have f of u plus c. So later may examples tayo on the various techniques and then the various formulas natin for integration. So the process of evaluating an integral of the form in equation 1, okay, by converting it into the form of equation number 2 with our substitution u is equal to g of x and du is g prime of x dx is called, okay, so this is called the method of u substitution. So ito yung nagle-let u tayo, di ba? Let u, and then we get the du. So para isa-substitute natin doon sa integral natin para mapadali natin yung pag-solve natin sa isang integral. That is method of u substitution. Next is the integration by parts. This is the most useful among the techniques of integration. That is the integration by parts. It is derived from the differentials of the product of two factors. So ito naman na-derive mula sa product rule ng ating differential. So if u and v are both differentiable functions of x, and then we have this from our product rule, right? So we have the derivative of u times v, that is u dv plus v du. So ito ay galing sa, again, product rule. And then, okay, we transpose, by transposition, we now have u dv is equal to derivative of uv minus v du. And then, we apply integral to the both sides of this equation. Okay, we integrate. So we now have the integral of u dv, that is equal to, okay, integral of the derivative of uv. So we only have uv minus the integral of v du. So this formula for integration by parts is derived from the product rule of differentiation. Okay, so ito formula natin ha. So we have the integral of u dv is equal to uv minus the integral of v du. And then we have this Wallis formula, kung saan ito ginagamit. This is used to shorten the solution in finding the antiderivative of, take note, powers of sines and cosines. So we have this formula for the Wallis formula. We have this Wallis formula, no? So we have the integral of sine raised to m theta times cosine raised to n theta d theta. Okay, take note that the limits, okay, limits of integration dito, no? The limits is only 0 to pi over 2. Dapat ito yung limit natin for the integral with the powers of sine and cosine para magamit natin tong Wallis formula. So dapat yung lower limit is 0 and then yung upper limit is pi over 2. Okay? So we have yung value ng m, yung power ng sine, and then yung n, yung power ng cosine. So we have, okay, m minus 1 times m minus 3 and so on. Okay? And so on until this will become 2 or 1. Okay? And then we multiply it, doon naman sa n minus 1 times n minus 3, and so on until the value will be 2 or 1. Okay? All over, okay, we divide that, all over, okay, the sum of m and n. So we have m plus n, and then times m plus n minus 2, and then m plus n minus 4, and so on until it becomes 2 or 1. Okay? So, multiply natin lahat yan. And then, multiply that to alpha. Okay? O ano yung alpha na yan? So, where alpha is pi over 2 if both m and n are even. O, paano kung hindi? Otherwise, we use alpha is equal to 1. Okay? So, alpha is equal to 1 kapag otherwise. So, kapag hindi even yung m and n. Okay? So, nahapyawan natin yung mga formulas and then the various techniques, okay, for integration. So, try tayo mag-solve ng problems. So, sunod-sunod natin itong mga problems. I think on this part alone, parang 11 to examples. Okay? So, first example, okay, evaluate the integral of 4x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3 dx. Okay? So first, okay, we will be applying yung ating properties ng indefinite integral. Okay? Since we have 3 terms dito sa loob ng integral, okay, we can split it, okay, into 3 terms. So we have, okay, 4x, integral of 4x cubed dx minus 2 integral of 2x squared dx plus the integral of 3 dx. Okay? And then, nilabas ko na yung constant natin. Kasi pwede nating ilabas yung constant na yan. So we have 4 times the integral of x cubed dx minus 2 times the integral of x squared dx plus 3 times the integral of dx. Okay? So meron tayong formula neto. So we have the integral of u raised to n du. So we have u raised to n plus 1 over n plus 1. And then we have the integral of du para sa third term. So yan yung gagamitin natin. So we use the formulas for integration. So we have 4, okay, times integral of x cubed dx is, your exponent is 3. So we add 1 to that. So we have x to the 4th power over 4. And then minus 2 times x squared, di ba? X squared yung integral. So we add 1. So we have x cubed plus x cubed over 3 plus 3. Integral of dx is x. And then don't forget the constant of integration plus c. Okay? So pag sa integral, huwag natin kakalimutan yung plus c na yan. And then, we can cancel 4 on the first term. Okay? So, simplified natin to. So, our answer is x to the 4th power minus 2 over 3x cubed plus 3x plus c. So, this is the integral of 4x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3 dx. Okay? Next, evaluate the integral of 5 times the cube root of x squared dx. Okay? So, dito naman, napansin niyo, di ba? We have the cube root of x squared. Okay? So, itong cube root of x squared, so this is equal to, di ba? From our laws on radicals, so this is equal to x raised to 2/3. And then, nilabas na natin yung 5 since this is constant. So, we integrate this x raised to 2/3. Okay, power formula ulit. So, integrating that, so we have 5 times, okay, we add 1 to 2/3. So, 2/3 plus 1, that is 5/3. So, we have x raised to 5/3 over 5/3 plus c. And then, we can cancel 5, okay? And then, yung 3, aangat yan. So we now have 3x raised to 5/3 plus c. So ito yung integral ng 5 cube root of x squared dx. And then next, okay, evaluate the integral of tangent squared x dx. Okay? So kung mapansin natin, balik tayo sa formulas natin. This is tangent squared x dx. Tangent squared x, di ba? Tangent squared x, wala. Meron lang is secant squared u and then cosecant squared u. Wala tayong tangent squared x. Meron tayo dito, tangent lang. Okay? Pero hindi natin pwedeng gamitin yan. So to solve for that, okay, wala tayong integral diretso, no, ng tangent squared x. So for this one, we will use trigonometric identities. So remember that secant squared of x minus 1 is equal to tangent squared of x. Okay? And then we substitute this identity. Okay? So therefore, our integral will be integral of secant squared x minus 1 dx. Okay? And then, ihiwalay natin yung dalawang terms na yan. So we have the integral of secant squared x dx minus the integral of dx. So itong secant squared of x dx, we have this on our formulas, di ba? So we evaluate now this integral. So we have tangent of x minus x plus c. Okay? So wag kalimutan lagi yung plus c. Okay? So so ito, integral of secant squared x dx ay tangent x, and then minus, take note of the sign. Okay, minus yan. So minus, integral ng dx is x plus c. So the integral of tangent squared x dx is tangent x minus x plus c. So ito ay mga basic pa lang na mga integrals. Okay, let's proceed. Next, ito. Evaluate the integral of e raised to x sine e raised to x dx. Okay, so dito, yung e raised to x na nauna, okay, nasa labas yan, no, ng sine. So yung argument ng sine yung itong e raised to x. Okay. So to evaluate this one, okay, to evaluate this, we use the u substitution. Okay, mag-let u tayo dito. So anong i-let u natin? Ito na lang yung sa argument ng sine. Okay? So we let u is equal to e raised to x. Okay? We let u is equal to e raised to x. And then we get the derivative of u. We have e raised to x dx. Okay? Kung mapansin nyo dito, we have this as our u. Ito yung u natin, no? Yung e raised to x na yan. And then nakuha natin yung du, we have e raised to x dx. So, yung e raised to x dx na yan, ito yan, no? Ito. Ito yan. Okay? So, you have e raised to x dx. This is our du. So, substitute natin. So, we have sine u du. Okay? So, we have the integral of sine u du. Okay? From our formulas, that is negative cosine of u plus c. Okay? Hindi pa yan yung sagot. Kailangan natin i-substitute yung u. Okay? So, our u is e raised to x. Substitute that. We have negative cosine of e raised to x plus c. So, therefore, the integral of e raised to x sine e raised to x dx is negative cosine e raised to x plus c. Okay? Okay, next. We have evaluate the integral ln of x over x dx. Okay, so dito naman, mag-let u tayo ulit. Okay? So, pansinin niyo kung ano yung pwedeng i-let u dito, no? So, for this one, we will be let, okay? Ano kaya pwedeng i-let u natin, no? So, dapat pa nag-let u tayo, may lalabas na du na nandito sa ating integral. Okay, dapat nandito yung kakalabasan nating du. Kung sakali na x yung i-derivative natin, okay. Kunyari, itong x yung gagawin nating u, okay? Hindi naman pwede yun, di ba? Kasi meron pa tayong x sa denominator. Okay, so hindi pwede yun, no? Okay. So, ang pwedeng i-let yun natin dito, okay, yung denominator, din pwede, kasi x din yan. Para tayong, yung x, derivative niyan is 1 or simply dx na lang, or dx, di ba? Wala rin. Meron ka pang, ano doon, no? Magiging ln of u lang siya over u times du. So, ang pwedeng i-let yun natin dito ay yung ln of x. Kasi we know that the derivative of ln of x is dx over x. Okay? So, gawin natin yun. So, we let u is equal to ln of x. And then, we get the du, we have dx over x. Okay? So, we have ln of x, and then this is the dx over x. Okay? And then, substitute natin. So, we have the integral of u du. Power formula tayo of integral. We have u squared over 2 plus c. Okay? Yung u natin may exponent na 1. So, add tayo ng 1. So, it will become 2. So, we have u squared over 2 plus c. And then, substitute natin yung ln of x. So, we have 1/2 ln of x squared plus c. So, ito yung sagot natin for the integral of ln of x over x times dx. And then, itong kasunod, trigonometric naman. Evaluate the integral of cosecant raised to 6x times cotangent x dx. O, dito naman, okay, dito naman, okay, can apply yung power formula dito. Okay? We can apply the power formula. And then we can use the, and then before that, we use the u substitution. Okay? So, ang i-let yun natin dito yung may power. Okay? So, we will let u yung cosecant x. Okay? Yung kasi yung may power. So, we have we have the cosecant 6 power yan, no? Okay? We have the 6 power. So, we use cosecant x as our u. Okay? So, we let u is equal to cosecant x. And then, we get the derivative of that. Okay? O, derivative. So, concepts nung kanina na differential natin, no? We get the derivative of u. We get the derivative of cosecant x. So, that is a negative cosecant x cotangent x dx. But as you can see on our integral, okay, we have cosecant 6 raised to 6 x, okay, cotangent x dx. Okay, as you can see here, ito lang yon. So, ang gagawin natin, we have cosecant, no? So, ang gagawin natin, para magkaroon ng cosecant na kasama yung cotangent. So, ang gagawin natin is that we split yung cosecant raised to 6x na yan. Okay? So, ang mangyayari, kuha tayo ng isa sa cosecant. Okay? Kuha tayo ng isa dyan. So, magiging integral of cosecant raised to 5 of x times cosecant x cotangent x dx. Okay? So, 5 na lang, no? Kumuha tayo ng isa. So, itong cosecant x yung ating u. Okay? And then, kaso ang du mo negative, no? Negative cosecant x cotangent x dx. Ang nandito lang sa atin is cosecant x cotangent x dx. Wala tayong negative. So, kunin natin yung cosecant x cotangent x dx. Okay? Transpose lang natin. We have negative du. Okay? So, substitute natin yan. Okay? So, cosecant x is u. So, we have u raised to the 5th power. And then, okay, we have cosecant x cotangent x dx, that is negative du. So, we have, negative, no? So, we have negative du. Okay? So, we now have the integral of, negative integral of u raised to the 5th power du. Okay, apply tayo ng power formula dito. So, we have negative u raised to 6 over 6 plus c. And then, substitute natin yung cosecant x sa u. So, we have negative 1 over 6 cosecant raised to 6 of x plus c. So ito yung integral ng function na to. Okay? So we have negative 1/6 cosecant raised to 6 x plus c. Evaluate the integral of x squared times cosecant squared of x cubed dx. Okay, so ito. Paano naman to? So try natin i-let u yung argument ng cosecant, which is x cubed, no? Try natin to. Okay? So let's try that. So this will be our u. So we have x cubed. And then we get the derivative of that. We have 3x squared dx. Okay? Kaya lang, ang meron tayo dito is just x squared dx. Wala tayong 3. Okay? So we get x squared dx, transpose lang natin. So that is du over 3. Okay? So substitute natin yung u tsaka du. So we have, okay, we have cosecant squared u. Okay? Yun yung x cubed natin. And then, we have du over 3. Okay? So we have du, nilabas ko na yung 1/3. Okay? Kasi pwede natin ilabas yung constant, no? And then, okay, so we have 1/3 times, okay, the integral of cosecant squared u. Okay, we have from our formulas, okay, we have the formula for integral of cosecant squared u du. So we have negative cotangent u. Okay, plus c. Huwag kalimutan lagi yung plus c. So we have, okay, negative 1/3 cotangent. Okay, and then substitute natin yung u, which is x cubed. So we have cotangent of x cubed plus c. Okay. Next is we evaluate the integral of x squared ln of x dx. Kunyari, we let u is ln of x. Okay, ito i-let u natin. Ang magiging du niyan is 1 over x dx, no? Or dx over x. Wala tayong dx over x nandito. Meron lang tayong x squared. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin yun as substitution, no? And then, kung x squared naman, hindi pwede. Kasi yung x doon sa ln is, nandyan lang yan. That is argument. Okay? So, hindi pwede. So, para sa ganito, okay, pansinin natin ha, we have an algebraic function and then an natural logarithmic function. Okay? So, ang pwede natin i-apply dito is the integration by parts. Okay? So, we integrate by parts. So, we have two functions and then we just assign kung sino yung u and then kung sino yung dv. Okay? So, in here, okay, nilet u yung ln of x. And then, dv yung x squared dx. Okay? So, dito, nilet u ko yung ln of x. And then, yung dv yung natira, which is x squared dx. Okay? Yan yung dv. And then, we get du. Okay? This is dx over x, while the integral of x squared dx, okay? O, i-integrate ito ha. O, i-integrate nyo to. Baka maya, i-derivative nyo yung x squared, no? Mali yun. Baka maya, sagot nyo sa v is 2x. This is the usual error. Okay? Ang usual error is that kukunin yung v, pero ang ginawa dito is differentiation. Take note of that. Okay? Careful dapat kayo. So, dapat we integrate yung dv to get v. Okay? Kasi kung 2x yung lagay nyo dito, that will be wrong. Oo. Mali yun. So, dapat integral tayo. So, we have x cubed over 3. Okay? So, we apply uv. Okay? uv minus the integral of v du. Okay, kaya na kung ginagawa, no? So, uv minus the integral of v du. So, we have uv. So, we have 1/3 x square, x cubed times ln of x. Okay? Minus the integral of v, which is x cubed over 3 times dx over x is also 1 over x dx. Okay? So we integrate the second term and then we can cancel x dito, no? May matitirang squared. Okay? May matitirang squared dito. So we have 1/3 x cubed ln of x minus, and then labas natin yung constant. So we have 1/3 times the integral of, squared na lang, no? So we have x squared dx. So we integrate this. Dahil na lang siya integrate, no? So we have 1/3 x cubed ln of x minus 1/3, okay? Integral ng x squared dx. This is x cubed over 3 plus c. Okay? Simplify natin. Multiply natin yung 1/3 sa 1/3. So we have 1/3 x cubed ln of x minus 1 over 9 x cubed plus c. Ito yung ating answer for the integral of x squared ln of x dx. So kung sakali naman, ang nilet u mo, itong x squared, okay? Ito yung nilet u mo, ito yung ginawa mong dv. Ang problema, yung v mo, di ba, integral ng ln of x dx ay yung ln of x minus x, di ba? So i-integrate mo pa yon. Mas mahirapan tayo, no? Okay? Pero kaya din naman. So hanap tayo ng mas simple na function na kapag i-integrate ng VDU, okay, madali lang siya. So we can also use yung, kung alam nyo to, suot ko lang dito ha, IIEE. To select the U, kung ano yung mauna dyan, yun yung gagawin nating U. Okay, in this case, we have algebraic x squared, okay, and then ln of x. Okay, dalawang functions yan. That is logarithmic. Okay, yung L is logarithmic function, yung I inverse function, yung A algebraic function, yung T trigonometric function, and then yung E natin I exponential. So in our case, dito sa problem na to, we have L and A, logarithmic and algebraic. Nauna yung L. So we substitute U, yung ating logarithmic function. We have ln of x. Okay? And then yung isa, yung algebraic, that will be our dv. So tandaan nyo lang to ha. LIATE. So para ma-select natin ng tama yung magiging u natin. Evaluate. This is definite integral naman. So evaluate the integral of e raised to x plus sin x dx with limits from 0 to 2. Okay? Paano naman to? So, ang sabi natin, di ba, doon sa kaninang concept for the definite integral is that we first evaluate yung indefinite integral. Okay? So, we have, kunin natin yung integral ng e raised to x plus sin x dx. Okay? Integral ng e raised to x dx, that is e raised to x, and then the integral of sin of x dx, that is negative cosine x. Okay? So, yan yung ating integral for e raised to x plus sin of x dx. So, we have e raised to x minus cosine x. And then, anong gagawin natin dito? So, we have the limits from 0 to 2. Diba? 0 to 2. So, we apply yung concept na yung upper limit na function minus the lower limit na function. So we have, okay, yung upper limit tayo, so we have 2. Okay? So substitute natin yan. Okay, so we have e raised to 2 minus cosine of 2 minus, okay, e raised to 0 o yung lower limit natin minus the lower limit function. Okay? So e raised to 0 minus cosine 0. So that is yung first term, we have 7.8052 minus, the second term is 0. Kasi yung e raised to 0 ay 1. Okay, this is 1. And the cosine of 0 is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay? So our integral of e raised to x plus sin x, okay, dx with limits from 0 to 2 is 7.8052 yung ating integral with the limits from 0 to 2, yung ating answer. So dito, hiingat din kayo. Okay? So when we evaluate the value of a trigonometric function, okay? Take note, cosine is trigonometric, ano? So dapat kapag kaganto, okay, you use the radian mode of your calculators. Kasi kung degree yan, mali yung magiging sagot natin. Okay, so yan din yung isang common mistake, no? Baka mamaya yung choices sa board exam ganyan, no? May 7.8052 tapos yung isa 6.3896. Okay? May mali kagad kayo, no? So be careful with that. Next, evaluate the integral of 3 cosine of raised to 8 of x sine squared of x dx with limits from 0 to pi over 2. Okay, so dito naman, we can use the Wallis formula. Okay, we have the power of sine and cosine. Okay, and then our limits is from 0 to pi over 2. We can use Wallis formula. Ano ba yung Wallis formula? Ayan, yung mahaba, oh. Okay? So, yung sine, yun yung m natin. Okay? Yung sine, yun yung m natin. So, sine, no? M. So, yung 2, okay? Yung 2, yung m. Okay? And then yung 8, yung n. Okay? So, yung m is 2, yung n is 8. Gamitin natin yung formula na to, no? Okay, so we have 3 dito, no? Okay, so ilabas natin yan. So we have 3. So we have, yung m is 2. So we have m minus 1, that is 1. Okay? Ayan siya, 1. Okay, so sabi natin, di ba? We have m minus 1 times m minus 3 and so on up to 2 or 1. For m, nandun tayo sa 1. Stop na tayo. Doon tayo sa n. Okay, so our n is 8. Okay, so gawin natin. 8 minus 1, 7. Okay, n minus 3 is 5. Tuloy-tuloy pa. N minus 5 is 3. And then 8 minus 7 is 1. Okay, nabot na natin yung 1. So we have 2 or 1. Okay, and so on up to 2 or 1. So we have 1, so we stop there. And then all over, m plus n. 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay? And then minus 2, minus 4, up to, abot tayo sa 2 or 1. Okay? So minus 2, we have 8. Okay? 10 minus 4, we have 6. 10 minus 6, we have 4. 10 minus 8, we have 2. Walang kasunod, no? Kasi we have reached 2. So we stop at 2 or 1. Okay? And then times alpha. Okay? So kung pansin natin dito, we have even for both the m and n. Okay? 2 and 8 yung powers, no? So this is, so our alpha is pi over 2. Okay? So let's evaluate this. Walang maka-cancel, no? Okay. Sige, input sa calculator and then our answer will be 21 pi over 512. That is equal to 0.12885. Okay, so this is our answer. Next, evaluate the integral of 8 cosine raised to 7 of x sine cube of x dx. So with the limits from 0 to pi over 2. Okay? So dito, 0 to pi over 2 ulit. So we can use Wallis formula. Labas mo yung 8. Okay, that is constant. So we have 8 times Wallis formula. So we have m is 3 and then 7 is yung n. So we have m minus 1. So start tayo doon, no? So 3 minus 1 is 2. Stop na rin kasi we reach 2 or 1. And then sa n, 7. 7 minus 1, 6. 7 minus 3, 4. And then 7 minus 5 is 2. Okay, we reach 2. So stop tayo dyan. All over, okay, 7 plus 3 is 10. So we have 10. And then 10 minus 2 is 8. 10 minus 4 is 6. 10 minus 6 is 4. 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay, we stop at 2. Times the alpha. Okay, dito, parehas odd number yung M and N. Okay, so we use 1 as our value for alpha. So we have, cancel, cancel yung 8, cancel yung 6, cancel yung 4, cancel yung 2. Diba, daming cancel. Natira ay 2 over 10, that is 1/5, or that is 0.2. Okay? And then, I think last example to for the integration formulas and techniques. Evaluate the integral of cosine raised to 8 of 3x dx. Okay. So dito, okay, ang limit natin is 0 pi over 6. Okay. Di pa pwedeng gamitin si Wallis formula dito diretso, no? Although we have cosine in here. Di pa pwedeng gamitin si Wallis formula. So ang gagawin natin, okay, mag-let u muna tayo. Okay? Let u tayo sa 3x. Kasi tingnan mo ko sakali ha, na mag-i-integrate tayo. Okay? Ito dx lang. Dapat ito 3dx kung mag-let u tayo. Okay? So we let u is 3x and then the du is 3dx. Okay? And then, okay, dx lang nandito. So dx is du over 3. Okay? And then, kapag nag-let u tayo, okay, ito kasing limit natin in terms of x. So, kailangan gawin natin yung limit in terms of u. Okay, dapat u naman to. Kasi itong limit in terms of x, dapat maging in terms of u. So, para maging in terms of u, mag-substitute lang tayo. So, for the lower limit, so when x is 0, okay, we substitute 0 to this equation. Okay, so 0, so 3 times 0 is 0. And then, when x is pi over 6, okay, so we have 3 times pi over 6, that is pi over 2. So we have our limits, our new limits is from 0 to pi over 2. So we can now use the Wallis formula. So magiging, okay, 1 du over 3 at ito. So magiging 1/3 times the integral of cosine raised to 8 u du. Okay? And then, du over 3, nilabas ko yung 1/3. And then, our limits now is from 0 to pi over 2. Okay? And then, anong kasunod dito? We can apply yung Wallis formula. Okay? So, we have 1/3 times, we have, this is n. Okay? We have 8. So, n minus 1, 7. And then, 8 minus 3 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. And then, 8 minus 7 is 1. So, we stop at 1. Wala tayong sign, no? Wala tayong m. And then, divided by, so, m plus n is 8. Minus 2, 6. And then, 8 minus 4 is 4. And then, 8 minus 6 is 2. Okay, we stop at 2. And then, times, alpha value. So, yung ating n is even, so we have pi over 2. So that is 35 pi over 768. So this is 0.143. Dito nga pala sa definite integrals, no, kamutan ko atang banggitin. You can use your calculators actually for this, no. So sa calculator ninyo, meron dyan, no, sa button dyan yung integral of dx. So pag pinindot nyo yan, you can have your function, i-input mo dyan yung function, and then you can also place the limits. Okay, so kapag definite integral, you can use your calculators. So ito, nandito ay yung sure solution type ito. Pero kung sa board exam naman kasi, no need to share solutions, so you can just input yung ating integrals with the limits. So pag may limits lang to applicable yung sa calculator, no? Okay, we proceed next to the applications of the definite integral. So first, application is the area between two curves. So here, we have two curves. So we have the function f of x, the first curve, and then the next curve, second curve is g of x, okay? And then we have a strip in here. Okay. This is vertical strip. Okay. Vertical strip yan. And then yung limits natin is from A to B. So we will be getting the area between these two curves and then these limits, no? So the area of that is the integral of f of x minus g of x dx with limits from A to B. Okay? So to simplify things, so dito we have the upper, ito yung upper curve, and then the lower curve. So ang formula natin for area will be the upper curve minus the lower curve. Okay? And then kapag ganito, we use the horizontal strip, and then we have W of y and then V of y. Okay? So we have the integral of wy minus vy dy with limits from c to d. So yung c natin and d yung ating limits. Okay? So we get the area under this curve. Okay? So dito we can use ito yung right function natin and then the left curve. Right curve and left curve. So we can have this as the right curve minus the left curve. Okay? So ganun lang siya. So upper minus lower and then the right minus the left. That is for the area between two curves. Okay? So try natin na two examples tayo. First is find the area of the region that is enclosed between the curves y is equal to x squared and y is equal to x plus 6. Okay? So dito, meron tayong so kapag sa board exam no walang figure. So you need to draw the figures, okay, para ma-visualize nyo yung pepahanap. So ito yung ating graph. So this is the graph. So we have the violet in here. This is the y is equal to x squared. And then itong line, this is the y is equal to x plus 6. Okay? Kadalasan din pag ganito, hindi given yung mga points of intersection. Okay? So we need to find for those points of intersection. Kailangan natin to kasi yan yung magiging limit natin for our integration. Okay? Kita mo na kagad, meron dito sa ito kasi sa book. Okay? So pero kung hanapin natin ito, okay, we have the curves y is equal to x squared and then the y, this line, y is equal to x plus 6. So ang gagawin natin, to get the points, okay, kung saan mag-intersect itong dalawang curves na to, is that we equate y is equal to x squared and y is equal to x plus 6. Equate lang natin yan. So we have x squared is equal to x plus 6. Okay. Equate natin to get itong points na to. X squared minus x minus 6, no? So that is x plus 2 times x minus 3. Kasi kapag inad mo yung 2 and negative 3, that is negative 1. And pag binultiply natin, okay, that is negative 6. Okay, so tama na to. So we have x plus 2 times x minus 3. So that's equal to 0. So the points is x is equal to negative 2 and x is equal to 3. Do not intersect, no? So we have negative 2 and 3. Okay? O, paano naman nakukuha yung y? Okay, yung y values na yan. So we just substitute any of this. Pwedeng negative 2, pwede ring 3 sa ating equation. Okay? Dito. So negative 2 squared is 4. Okay? And then 3 squared is 9. Okay, so kompleto na yung ating points, no? Pero hindi natin kailangan yung y. So kailangan natin dito is x since we will use a vertical strip. Okay? So we solve for the area. Okay? So this is the upper curve. Yung y is equal to x plus 6 and then the lower curve is the y is equal to x squared. So upper minus the lower. So we have x plus 6 minus x squared. Okay? So with the limits from negative 2 to e. Ayan siya, oh. Okay? Yung x natin. Okay? And then, integrate natin yung x plus 6 minus x squared. That is x squared over 2 plus 6x minus x cubed over 3. Applying the limits, So our answer is 125 over 6. Next, ito naman, find the area of the region that is enclosed by y is equal to y squared and y is equal to x minus 2. So dito naman, o kunyari, ang gagamitin natin is vertical strip. Ayan, vertical strip muna tayo. Okay? So kung magamit ka ng vertical strip, may problema tayo dyan. Kasi sa first part kung saan ako nag-strip, makita ninyo, this is upper, itong x equal to y squared, okay, minus yung nandito sa baba, no? Yung minus sa line. Okay? The equation of the this is parabola, no? Okay? Minus the yung line. Pero dito sa kasunod, pareho silang nandun sa curve na to. So, the curve minus the curve, no? So, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang hati. Dito tayo magkakaroon tayo ng hati dito. So, we will get first the area dito sa right side. Okay? Okay, we have the, yung curve and then the line. Sa pangalawa, we have the same line, same curve. So, this is area 1 and this is area 2. So, you need to get dalawang areas. Okay? Kasi sa left side, parehong parabola yung touching ng iyong strip. Sa first is we have the parabola and then the line. Diba? May problema tayo doon. Kung gamitin mo ay vertical strip. Okay? Pero, kung ang gagamitin mo is horizontal strip, okay? Horizontal strip, no? Oops. Pakala yan. 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 Isipin nyo, rectangle na lang yan. Strip yan. So, kung horizontal strip, anywhere on the region, okay? On this shaded region, ganun lang siya lagi, no? So, that is, itong line, okay? Yung nasa right side is yung line and then yung sa right is the parabola. Okay? So, dito, we only need to solve for one area. So, ang gamitin natin dito is the horizontal strip. Okay? We use horizontal strip. So, dito, we equate x tayo. X is y squared and then we have yung y is equal to x minus 2. So, gawin natin siyang x is equal to y plus 2 para ma-equate natin. Okay? So, we have y squared is equal to y plus 2. Okay? So, ito naging ito, x squared, x is equal to y plus 2. Okay? So, we have y squared, transpose minus y, minus 2 is equal to 0. So, we have y minus 2 times y plus 1 is equal to 0. So, we have the points sa y na intersection ay y is equal to 2 and y is equal to negative 1. Ito po yan, no? Negative 1 and 2. And then, sunod, alam na natin yung points of intersection. O ganun din yung para sa x. Substitute yung dalawang y, 2 and negative 1 in any of the two equations. Pwede sa y squared. O dito lang sa y squared. So we have 4 and 1. Okay, so ito yun, no? 4 and 1. Okay. So solving for the area of this, we have so we have the right, okay, yung right natin na curve, which is the line, we have y plus 2, okay, minus the yung sa left na curve, we have y squared. So, minus y squared, o integrate, y squared over 2 plus 2y minus y cubed over 3. And then, yung limits is from, okay, ito, negative 1. Sa y tayo, ha? And then, up to 2. Okay? So, we have our answer 9 over 2. Itong isa, find the area bounded by the curve y is equal to x cubed minus 6x squared plus 8x and the x-axis. So kapag ganito naman, i-graph natin to. Yung x cubed minus 6x squared plus 8. So kung i-graph mo yan, ito yung tsura niya, no? And then you get the And then the x-axis, no? So, ito yung x-axis natin. Okay, yan, no, yung x-axis. Ito yung x-axis natin. So, yung kukunin nating area, yung nandito sa loob na to. Tsaka ito. Okay. Yan, yung nandiyan sa loob na yan. May shade na lang yan. Ako mag-shade na ito eh. Yan. O, dalawa, no? So, you need to get the area of this. Okay? And then the area of this. O, dalawang kukunin mong area. So, and then you determine the points of intersection kung saan ito nag-intersect para malaman natin yung limits, no? So, we just factor this. Okay? Factor natin yung x cubed minus 6x squared plus 8x. Common yung x. We have x times x squared minus 6x plus 8. And then, we have factor natin, factoring. So, we have x times x minus 2 times x minus 4. Pag inad, negative 6. Okay, tama. So, this we have 0, 2, and 4. Doon siya nag-intersect, no? 0, 2, and 4. As seen on this graph also. So, pag alam na natin to, okay, solve for the area. So, we have area 1 and area 2. Yung area na nauna is from 0 to 2, and then yung pangalawa is from 2 to 4. So, we have x cubed, the integral of x cubed minus 6x squared plus 8x dx with limits from 0 to 2, and then minus the integral of x cubed, same function, minus 6x squared minus 8x plus 8x with limits dx with limits from 2 to 4 naman. So this is for the second. Okay, yung nasa baba. Okay, take note, we use negative. Okay? Negative po yan kasi nasa baba yung curve natin dito, no? Nasa baba siya. So we use negative. So we have, integrate natin yan. So x to the 4th over 4 minus 6x cubed over 3 plus 8x squared over 2. Then apply limits later from 0 to 2. Same here. Okay, same lang naman yung integral niyan. And then with the limits from 2 to 4. So simplified na lang yung pangalawa natin na integral. This, I think this is 2. Ito pala ay 2. So this is 2. Okay, correct na lang yan. So x to the 4th over 4 minus 2x cubed. So we have our answer, 8 square units. O, pwede na rin naman diretso dito. So calculate naman, kaya yan eh. Diba? Integral nito, input mo minus the integral nito. So diretso sa calculate yan, we have 8 square units. Next, solids of revolution. First, disk method. This method is used when the element or strip, representative strip, is perpendicular to and touching the axis. Take note, this is used when the strip is perpendicular to and touching the axis. Okay, yan yung mga keywords natin. This means that the axis is part of the boundary of the plane area. When the strip is revolved around about the axis of rotation, a disk is generated. So, kung meron tayong, we have here yung ating curve y is equal to f of x, and then we have the limits from a to b, and then we revolve this at x-axis. Okay? So, yung strip natin, ito no? Okay? Ito yung strip natin. So, this strip is perpendicular, perpendicular, no? Ito yung axis mo, perpendicular to the strip. So, we revolve it around the x-axis, touching yung strip mo sa x-axis, di ba? So, we generate a disk. Okay, so disk yung ating ma-generate. Kapag, ang formula naman yan is based, ito lang naman yan, based on the formula nung ating, ano to, sa mga, sa solid mensuration yan, na formula. So, we have pi f of x squared dx. Okay? And then, dito naman, for this one, we have yung y naman, pabalik sa y naman nag-revolve. So, we have the curve x equal to u of y. Okay? And then we have a horizontal strip dito. Okay? So, again, the strip is perpendicular to and touching the y-axis. So, therefore, we generate a disk. Ito yung itsura po niyan. So we have V is equal to the integral of pi times u of y squared dy with limit from C to D. Okay. Next is the washer. So yung washer naman, that is also known as ring method. Or ring method. Washer method, also known as ring method. So this is used when the element or representative strip is again perpendicular to, but this is not touching your axis. Okay, so yun ang difference between disk and washer. And then since the axis is not a part of the boundary of the plane area, the strip when revolved about the axis generates a washer or a ring. Oh, as you can see in this figure, okay, this is not touching your axis of revolution, which is itong x natin, no? X-axis. This is not touching. Okay, we use a vertical strip. So when we generate, okay, we have, when we revolve this, it generates a washer or ring. Okay, and then same kapag sa y, okay, kapag we use the horizontal strip, okay, not touching your axis of revolution, and then it is perpendicular to, and then we revolve it around this y-axis. So we also generate a washer or ring. So ito yung formulas natin for the two. Okay. So we have the V is equal to the integral of pi, okay, times the quantity, yung ating outer diameter, we have yung f of x squared, minus yung sa inner. So we have g of x squared. Same here, okay, for the with respect to y. And then last is the shell method. So this method is used when the element is parallel to the axis of revolution. So ang pinagkaiba nito, okay, yung disk method is perpendicular but touching the axis. Si washer or ring is perpendicular but not touching, while the shell method is parallel to the axis of revolution. So when the strip is revolved about the axis, the solid form is of cylindrical form or shell. So we revolve it along the y, and then our strip is parallel. So we have a vertical strip. So when we revolve that around y-axis, so we form a cylindrical form na. So we have V is equal to the integral of 2 pi x f of x dx with limits from a to b. Find the volume of the solid that is obtained when the region under the curve y is equal to square root of x over the interval 1, 4 is revolved about the x-axis. So dito, we have the curve. This curve is y is equal to square root of x. And then we have the interval 1, 4. Okay, this is revolved about the x-axis. Okay, so mapansin niyo, we use a vertical strip. Okay, and then we revolve it around the x-axis. Okay, so that is perpendicular to and then touching the axis of revolution. So we will have a disk. Okay, so we have this formula. Okay, so we have the integral of pi times f of x squared dx with limits from a to b. So pi, integral of pi times the f of x, our function is square root of x squared dx, limits from 1 to 4. Okay, and then integrate natin yung square root of, hindi pa pala, yung square root of x squared, that is x na lang. So we have integral of pi x dx. And then we evaluate this. Pi is constant. Labas mo yan. So we have x squared over 2. So we have pi x squared over 2 with limits from 1 to 4. Applying upper minus the lower limit, we have 8 pi minus pi over 2. So we have 15 pi over 2. Okay, so yan yung ating volume for this solid, okay, generated. So ibang example, this is Ito naman ay yung washer natin, washer. And then yung isa ay shell. Okay? So check nyo lang yung PowerPoint later. So this is the last part. We have multiple integrals. So importante rin to, no? So to evaluate double integrals, we need to calculate two successive integrals. So if we have this, okay? So integrate muna natin to. Ito muna, oh. And then hanggang dito sa dy. So integrate natin to. And then once we know the integral of that, and then substituting evaluating with the limits, we can have yung integral of that with respect to dx with limits from a to b. So ganoon lang siya, no? Successive lang na integrals natin. Okay, and then sa triple, it can be evaluated by 3 successive integrations. So tatlong beses naman. Okay, double twice, sa triple thrice. Okay. Example tayo, tag-isa-isa for the double and then the triple. So first, we evaluate the integral. Okay, this integral. Okay. So we have the integral of this double integral, no? So unang gagawin natin dito for this double integral, we evaluate this integral. So ito muna, no? So this yung nasa loob hanggang dito sa dx. So if we evaluate this first. So we evaluate integral of sine y dx with limits from 0 to cosine y. So we will be integrating with respect to x. Okay, dx kasi ito. With respect to x. So ang i-integrate natin yung x. Ang mangyayari sa sine y to eh. So ang gagawin natin dito is that we will treat this as constant. Okay? So constant yan. So ang i-integrate natin actually yung x lang. So sin y will be treating this as constant, no? So ang gagawin natin, labas yung sin y, we integrate x dx. So this is x squared over 2. Okay? Times our constant na nandyan is yung sin y. Okay? So ang limits natin is from x is equal to 0 to cosine y. So yung limit natin ay x yan, ha, in terms of x. So substitute natin. So we have upper as the lower limit. So we have 1/2 cosine squared y sin y over x squared, no? Sabi ko, x squared. Yung x natin, upper limit, no? Cosine y. Cosine squared y times sin y over 2. Ito yun. dy. Okay. Minus, ito kasing 0. Okay. So substitute natin dito, this will become 0 squared. So that is 0. So we are left with 1/2 cosine squared y sin y dy. Okay. So dito naman, okay, ito na yung kasunod. Yung limits natin from 0 to pi over 3. And then, mag-u tayo dito, u substitution. We let u, we will be letting yung u, we will let u is equal to cosine y. And then the derivative of that is negative sin y. Okay, so kailangan natin ng sin y, no? Negative. So we have negative. So magiging ano na siya, 1/2 negative 1/2 u squared du. Okay? So magiging u cubed over 3. So 1/2 negative 1/2 times 1/3, that is negative 1 over 6. And then substitute cosine cube y. And limits, apply limits, we have 7 over 48. So ganoon lang siya, no? So dito, double integral, we integrate twice. Okay? So take note lang, ha, kapag ganito, so we have x sin y dx, we integrate with respect to x, no? So the other variable is treated as constant. In this case, yung sin y. So this is treated as a constant, no? Okay. And then, so in this, evaluate the triple integral given. Okay. So in here, ito muna. Ito muna nasa loob. hanggang dito sa dz. So we'll be integrating with respect to z. Okay, so say yung variable natin dito. So we can integrate this. So this is z squared over 2. Okay, 1/2 z squared. And then applying the limits. So we have 1/2 times y, 1 minus y squared. Okay, then dx dy na siya. So wala na rin yung lower limit since 0 squared siya, no? So that is 0. And then sa sunod, second tayo. Ito naman. Basta yun sa loob. And then up to this dx. This is in terms of y, no? This is in terms of y. So we just integrate dx. Okay? So yung 1/2 times 1 minus y squared will be treated as constant since we integrate with respect to x, no? Okay? So constant yan. So integral of dx is x, okay, times the constant. We have 1/2 1 minus y squared. Okay, and then we apply the limits x from 0 to y. Apply natin yung limits. Substitute mo sa x. So we have 1 minus y squared times y. Okay. Minus 0 na rin. Kasi 0 times this function is 0. So we have 1 minus y squared times y. So we have y minus y cubed. Okay, yan siya. And we have the 1/2. Okay. So ang limit na ngayon, yung sa pinakadlabas na. And then, so we are now dy na. dy. So we have y minus y cubed dy. With limits from 0 to 1. So y, integral of y dy is y squared over 2. And then the integral of minus, take note of the sign, minus. Minus tayo ha, minus the integral of y cubed dy, that is y to the 4th over 4. Okay. Applying the limits from 0 to 1 on this, times 1/2 pa. So we have 1 over 8. Okay. So that's the end for integral calculus. So medyo marami pa sana siyang coverage yung integral, no? So problema lang is we are given a limited time for this discussion. So thank you for listening and good evening po sa inyong lahat, ating mga listeners.